All right, so thank you, Jay. I have a next question for you. As what you mentioned before is that we see a lot of things about the plastic credits in general. So can you tell us a little bit more in detail what your vision is about the plastic credits in general, especially, of course, the CSR plastic credits?
Well, I believe that with all the regulations that are now being done and all the commitment by all the major organizations like United Nations, European Union, etc., it is only a matter of time. And I believe personally that it's between the next 2 to 3 years that the major corporations and even medium-sized companies in every single part of the developed world is going to be by law obligated to take responsibility of their plastic waste.
By law.
By law. And, this has already happened with carbon, already happened with carbon credits, and it's going to happen exactly in the same way with plastic credits. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that today people go out into the environment, they go out in the nature, and they see a bunch of plastic waste. The normal thing for a citizen, for a private person, is to say, hey, why the government is not doing something, right? Now, what does the government do? The government says, that's not our problem. We're not the one polluting it, right? This is the companies that make these products that are polluting. So the government now talks to the companies and say, you guys are the ones who are making all this plastic trash. You gotta fix the problem.
Right.
Well, then the companies say, well, we're not the one throwing it away, right? We're not the one polluting. It's our customers. But you can't put that responsibility back to the customers who are buying a product and don't have any other option than to throw that plastic away.
Yeah.
So ultimately, where it's going to land, the responsibility is within the companies. It is the ones who actually generate this waste, exactly the same way like it has been done with the carbon. So what is going to happen is that more and more countries are going to start to demand that big brands, companies that we use on a day-to-day basis, your Coca-Colas, your Pepsis, your Unilevers, Nestles, you name it, they will have to take responsibility for every kilo of plastic that they distribute out to the world every year. And, just to name a few from that, we've actually seen these companies to start doing it already voluntarily. Not because they are being forced, but they also want to be part of that because they know that this is the direction where it's going, so you better start now.
Right.
The other aspect is that they also know that the consumers are already expecting them to do this. So we saw, for example, last year, both from Unilever and Nestle, a global statement and global commitment where they simply now said that starting from this year, 2022, both of these companies will want to remove more plastic from the environment than what they contribute to it.
So they work backwards.
Exactly.
Right.
And they've been very transparent, very open about their plastic waste pollution. Unilever creates approximately 700 million kilos of plastic waste per year. Nestle, over 1.3 billion kilos a year.
Wow.
So these two companies combined, only two companies, create more than 2 billion kilos of plastic waste per year, or approximately 2 billion. And they have made that public commitment. I applaud for them. I think that's a great way for them to show responsibility, and they want to be in the forefront of solving this issue. And how are they going to solve it? Is by the use of plastic credits. For example, here in Thailand, we've seen these companies. They've organized collection points, and they are very active in supporting collection programs where plastic can be collected in the city. But unfortunately, those numbers are so small that you get when you put a collection center somewhere and you ask people to come and donate, bring their product back, right? For example, here in Thailand, just an example, Unilever has organized program where if you bring back the used packaging for the Unilever product, they will give you some discount vouchers and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's great. It's great. And some people do that, but you do imagine that you know, in a place like Bangkok where traveling is a problem, how many people are going to travel from across the town through all the traffic in a city of 15 million people to bring back that dirty plastic? Not many.
Not gonna happen.
No. It's a great incentive. It's great for marketing, but the numbers, the volumes are nothing. Okay. So what you really need is you need bigger solutions with bigger volume, and the plastic offset credit program, when done in the proper way, is the solution for that. Because then you have companies like Corsair who go out and take massive amounts. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of kilos, soon millions of kilos of plastic waste per month from the environment.
Right.
And with the proper documentation of that, when they are certified, they're audited, and now these companies can buy those credits, and they can, on a documented, publicly auditable platform like the Ethereum blockchain, they can then retire those credits, get the final certificates for that. Now it has a solution that can be put into work. And that is exactly where we come into play. So, coming back to your core question there, I personally think that more and more brands, more and more companies are going to begin to use plastic credits voluntarily, like we've already seen companies like Starbucks, like Pepsi, like Microsoft, Unilever, Nestle, and so on. These guys are getting into this already. But in the next 2 to 3 years, I believe it's going to become legally mandatory that you have to take responsibility of your plastic waste footprint. If you don't, you're gonna get fined for it, and obviously you're gonna get shamed for it.
Like the carbon pollution and carbon.
Exactly like was done with the carbon.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a big thing. So my estimation for the growth of the plastic credits is that the development will follow on the footsteps of the carbon credit. And the carbon credit today is about approximately $300 billion a year market.
Wow.
Which means that $300 billion worth of carbon offset credits are being traded on an annual basis. I believe that the plastic credit will grow to become 10% of that in the next 3 to 5 years. Meaning that the plastic credit market would grow from today's level, which is very, very small, still internationally, to become approximately $30 billion a year in the next 5 years.
Huge.
So that is a massive opportunity, and CSR today is without a doubt, no matter in whichever way you are looking at it, it is the leading plastic credit in the world. Nobody's doing it better or in bigger volumes than we are doing. Yeah. That's a fact. So I see a great opportunity for us to be a market leader also in the future. If we can secure even 10% from this $30 billion a year market in the next 3 to 5 years, that means that CSRs would be traded on an annual basis for upwards of $3 billion a year. That would be if we can maintain at least 10% market share. Right now we have a lot bigger market share than that already. So I think there's a huge, massive opportunity for plastic credits, and especially for the CSR plastic credit.
Yeah.
We are the only and the first plastic credit that is now officially traded publicly, not only in one, but 3 digital asset exchanges globally. We're having more and more bigger brands and companies joining into our mission, supporting this mission, who want to be part of that. And as you know, a recent study in the United States showed that more than 80% of the consumers would like to be able to buy products and services from companies who take responsibility of their plastic waste.
That's the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the CSR label, that little print,
Yeah.
that brands who become plastic neutral by using the CSR plastic credit can attach into their product packaging, that is when it gets big. And you know, I've said this before as well, that you know, the moment when you know, for example now you and me, the moment when you know that we really succeeded on our mission is when you walk to your neighborhood grocery store and you start to see the CSR label, that logo printed into your household products.
That will be free. That will be great. What's
Exactly.
what's time?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Right. Can you explain also how the CSR plastic credits are created
Right.
and related to the removal of plastic waste?
Exactly. So I mean, what you could say is that the CSR, in the most simplest way, is a digital receipt.
Right.
It's a digital receipt which proves that an X amount of plastic has been removed from the environment. So what happens is that every single time when Corsair takes a kilo of plastic from the environment, we scale it, we document it, and based on that 1 kilo that has now been taken away from polluting the planet, we will now issue 10 CSR plastic credits.
That will be outed.
Correct. And this is always going to be the same ratio, 1 kilo, 10 CSR plastic credits. So that means that as a digital asset, CSR is very unique in that way, because every single CSR credit is backed up by real physical work that went into the creation of this credit, into the creation of this token. So if you look at the digital asset, the crypto space, 99.9% of all of these different token projects and so on have nothing there to back them up.
Just supply and demand.
Yeah, it's just hot air.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. But with CSR, there is actual physical work that goes into creating each and every one of these credits.
That makes it very unique.
Very unique. Also, the other point that I would like to highlight is that normally in most of the digital currencies and digital assets, the end target is for someone to buy it, hold it, and then sell it forward for someone else on a higher price.
Right.
But in CSR, that's not the end goal. The end target is to actually use our retirement program and finally to retire. In other words, destroy that credit, remove it out from circulation.
Right.
And what happens then is that only by doing it in this way, only by retiring the CSR, can the end user generate that final certificate.
Yeah, I have some.
Which you got,
yeah,
for example.
yeah.
Can you show that to me?
Yeah, I can show you that. And this is what I saw. Let me find it as well. I have a lot of documents of that, but yeah, I tried by myself.
Show that for the camera.
I tried for myself, and this is this is a certificate. And the most important thing, what I think, is that it's related. You see, it's inside of the QR code.
Yes.
And it's directly related to the blockchain. So this is
Exactly.
a really proof.
Yes.
That I can show that I am plastic neutral, right?
Exactly.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, if anyone shows you one of these things, yeah, what you need to do is you just point your camera on this one.
Yeah.
It'll open up for you a link. You can go there. It'll show you the exact transaction, the amount of CSR, the date, the moment when those CSR were retired.
And
all
related to my own personal wallet.
Exactly, verifying that you are the one who did it.
Yeah.
So that's another, thank you.
Yes.
That's another unique aspect and unique thing with the CSR because it is so easily publicly auditable. And companies and brands who understand the value of that in their marketing can truly benefit from using the CSR as a way to communicate to the world that they are the one who's taking responsibility. And there's not a shadow of a doubt if they have been the one doing it or not.
Yeah. Right.
That's where the blockchain and the technology that it provides comes into play and provides us this amazing opportunity for have that public accountability and transparency.
So that means that's the big opportunity for companies to reduce
Absolutely.
plastic waste. Can you explain something more how a company can become plastic neutral?
Right. So basically what we are doing right now is that we are helping companies around the world to first of all identify and calculate their plastic waste footprint.
Right.
For a private individual, you normally generate about 50 kilos of plastic waste per year. So for like you and me, we would all, both of us generate about 5,000 kilos. I'm planning to be here for 100 years. I don't know how long. You're gonna be 120 for sure. You're staying in great health.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing, obviously those kind of numbers. So that means that during that lifetime as a private individual, your plastic waste footprint would be about 5,000 kilos. And that's, what you've already eliminated.
Yeah, I've eliminated it even more.
Right.
Like
so
7,500.
So you're going for 150 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like about you.
Yeah.
You think ahead and say, okay, I'm going to stick
Not
around.
100, 150.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Yes.
Exactly. Better play it safe.
Yeah.
So you're good. So that's the private person's footprint. For the companies, it can be anything from 100 kilos a year to a 1.3 billion kilos a year, like in the case of
It
Nestle.
depends what kind of company
Right.
it is. Right.
So basically what happens is that how much ever they pollute, how much ever plastic they are actually contributing out there, that would become eventually their plastic waste footprint. And what we do is we help companies to calculate that footprint.
Right.
And then once we know, okay, this is the amount that you generate on an annual basis, then we can go out and help them to acquire these credits from the public markets. Not even directly from us, but from the public market, from
What is already
from the
tradable right now
second-hand
from the
market.
exchanges.
Exactly.
Right.
So the brands can go there, they can buy them out from the market, and then they can follow the retirement process and get certified.
In a couple of
on
minutes.
that. Yeah, you've done the true. How
Yeah.
long did it take for you to do that?
A few seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite convenient the way that it works. And once you've done with it, now you got your certificate, and obviously it gives you massive bragging rights as a private individual. But for a company, it's really a big thing in their marketing and sales.
Branding.
Absolutely. And like I said before, right now it's voluntary, but in the next coming years, it's going to become mandatory and obligation for companies to do that. Exactly what we've seen happening with the carbon in the past.
Great. I see also a vision, and that's a vision like that people wants to deal with companies who will, let's say, be plastic neutral, right? So let's say we have here in Bangkok a lot of companies who are becoming plastic neutral, and I see an opportunity for, let's say, an application that where you wants to find, and as an individual, companies who are becoming plastic neutral, you can find it in like something like an app, and that you can find, that store, I want to be on that store because that company is plastic neutral. How do you see that vision in the future as well?
We see it exactly like you said.
Great.
Yeah. No, that's what we're working already. We have a lot of plans, a lot of ideas. We're working already on many of them. How to make this one so that you can have it in a very easily accessible form, all this information. Where, like you said, you can check the companies that are plastic neutral, the companies that are part of this revolution, and you can then go and show your support.
I want to buy the products in that shop.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I think we're getting to that in the next couple of months. So we're making a lot of progress on that field as well.
Great. Love to hear all the visions about the CSR plastic credits. And
Thank you.
what I see is it's a huge opportunity for everybody to collect the CSR plastic credits right now, because it's literally the moment right now to be there on the start of the whole revolution of the CSR plastic credits. Like the carbon credits, it's just started with a few cents and now up to, I don't know, but it's a great opportunity.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Jay, for the explanation of this question.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.